Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about something that seems to happen all the time, but really it's only 3 to 4 times a year for about 3 weeks. Mercury retrograde. So we always have to be prepared for this because we all know Mercury retrograde works. And so Mercury's going to be retrograde from August 5th to the 28th. So for the most part of August, Mercury is retrograde. And that causes more confusion, frustration, because things don't move forward like they should. Let me remind everyone, though, that planets, when they go retrograde, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's really that we're supposed to pull back and reflect during the time that a planet is retrograde in accordance to what that planet rules. And Mercury rules how we think, how we communicate, how we talk, how we connect to people, and how we travel. That is everything Mercury's about, and it's what we think too. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it's time to pull back and reflect and start reviewing things. Everything that's RE, I always say it's rewrite, review, reflect, reorganize, everything in our life. Go back and see what needs to be redone. Right? So before I get going, I want to remind everyone, go to my website and sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org, and while you're there, don't forget to check out my Patreon page. It is a spiritual community. I meet with people every week live. You'll love it. And as well as, don't forget my Galactic Planner. My Galactic Planner is out this now. And my Galactic Planner will take your individual birth chart and give you all the aspects that are happening for you personally. Gosh, this has been a lot of work putting this thing together, but I did it. And your first month is free. Try it out. I think you'll love it. As well as, last but not least, I'm starting my university this month. So get ready to learn Vedic Astrology. If this is a passion of yours, this is it. This is the place to come to. So go to universityofvedicastrology.com, and also for my website, it's galacticcenter.org and galacticplanner.com. All three of those, it's down below. You can click on them. All right, so let's get going. Let's talk seriously about what this Mercury retrograde will bring us. Almost the whole month of August. It's August 5th through the 28th. And it's going to go retrograde August 5th at 9 degrees of Leo. And so it's going to be in the nakshatra called Magha. And Magha is a nakshatra that deals with our heritage, our forefathers, those that went before us. And this is a nakshatra that really deals with going back and reconnecting with our past, our relatives. And so you might find that this is something that comes of interest during this Mercury retrograde. But as it retrogrades, it's going to go back into Cancer. And therefore, by the time it turns direct, it will be at 27 degrees of Cancer on August 28th. So it's going to spend half the time in Leo and half the time in Cancer. And this is the whole situation for the entire year. See, when Mercury goes retrograde from year to year, each year it stays in the same element. So usually it's in water, or it's in earth or fire or air. All of those mean something. But this year, it flanks between water and fire every single time. So you get a little mix. And every time Mercury does go retrograde, we change our minds because our minds are influenced by Mercury. We think different. We go, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right, or I need to change this, or I need to reflect and review this. And that's not a bad thing. It helps us see different perspectives, you see. But if we try to push forward and make things happen during Mercury retrograde, don't forget that that's when things go haywire. And that's why we think Mercury retrograde is such a bad time, because we're trying to start new projects. Don't do that. We're trying to do new things. It's a time for reflecting, not starting new things. That's when Mercury's moving fast and moving direct. Now it's a time to pull back and reassess things. Okay, so Mercury, though, since it's going to be flanking between fire and water, that portion of the zodiac, the first few degrees of a fire sign and the last degrees of a water sign, is what we call Gandanta. Gandanta means not, actually, but it means that it's coming to a juncture point between two signs, and it doesn't adjust very well, especially this dealing with water. And I have found that when Mercury goes, well, when any planet goes retrograde, or any planet spends a lot of time in a Gandanta degree, especially in the water, it is very dangerous. And it does deal with drowning. My teacher many years ago told me it deals with drowning. I know it means not, but somehow he was right, because it usually deals with incredible storms. And yes, this is hurricane season here in the United States. So look out, we have got some storms ahead of us when Mercury is Gandanta. And I looked it up. It will be Gandanta in water basically around August 22nd to the 26th. And it's going to be Gandanta also in fire, but I'm looking at in Cancer. You know why? I've been doing a lot of research. A lot of you won't understand what I'm talking about, but some of you may. And I've been doing a lot of research with the Drakanas in astrology, and the Drakanas, there's 36 of them. They're divisions of the zodiac, but there's something called the Sarpa Drakanas. And Sarpa, it means snake. But what it means is these portions of the zodiac are very detrimental. They're damaging and they're a problem. When you have planets there, it's like you got a problem. So the last part of Cancer is a Sarpa Drakana. So that time period that Mercury is retrograde, around August 22nd to the, well, no, when it is in the Sarpa Drakana, which will be around, okay, so it's going to be in September. So September 3rd through the 5th, that it will be 29 degrees of Cancer in a Sarpa Drakana. And then it'll still be in a Gandanta position when it's in the early part of Leo, September 5th through 7th. But let me just say, look out. This is going to be, I have noticed, now this is something that I've noticed from many, many readings I've done, and I've done videos on this before, that when planets go through the area of the last degrees of Cancer is the most detrimental. And actually the Sarpa Drakanas are in the last part of Pisces too. It's actually in the water signs, the Sarpa Drakanas. So it's the last 20 degrees of Pisces, Cancer, and the first 20 degrees of Scorpio. So, but I found this degree in Cancer to be the worst for drowning. I actually did a whole video on Natalie Wood and Brian of the Beach Boys. What was his name? But it was Brian of the Beach Boys anyway. I can't remember the Beach Boys. But they both drowned. And they both had very important planets there. 29 degrees of Cancer. So this tells me watch out. These storms are coming. These hurricanes are coming. And Mercury retrograde is going to make it probably where they tell you it's going to hit, it'll probably hit elsewhere. Because things will get confused with Mercury retrograde. Things will, in communications will be off. People won't get it right. People will be confused. And get ready for confusion. It's not a time to travel during these times, just because everything will go haywire. There'll be delays, probably weather delays, cancellations. We don't want to be traveling when this is going on, so make your plans accordingly. This is what I tell everyone astrology should be used for. Like a weather forecast, it's cycles. Let's run our life in accordance to what makes our life easy, not complicated or problematic. Okay, so another thing is, while Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, which will be pretty much towards the ending part in August 28th. I know it'll be in Cancer during this time. And look out, because during this time, we're going to feel a need for protection. And it also means to look out from the waterways. Something could be rising. Maybe it's a tsunami, maybe it's war tanks, but look at the water during the times that Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Cancer. So this is important because I see all sorts of threats of war coming up for the next, I want to say year, but like I said, it's starting off now. Be aware. And yes, we'll be able to live our lives normally, but there's going to be a big split around the world due to anger, violence, and what's been building for so very long. But the illusions are being uncovered, and I want you to be aware, not to be fooled. Listen to your gut about everything. And with Mercury retrograde, be aware. I try to limit my travel plans. And the other aspect of it is be more aware. Take this time to go back and review and reflect and reanalyze everything that needs work. You can't just keep pushing forward in every way. You've got, everything's like the ebb and flow of the tides. It's time to push out, and then it's time to pull in. Now it's a time to pull in. And during this time of August, I also see all the threats of earthquakes. So the earth is roaring and shaking, and the floods, the storms. Be aware. Use this time to reflect in your life, and it will be a useful time. Be a time for what you're supposed to be doing, and maybe reflect with your family. Look up your heritage. Get reconnected with family while it's in Leo. While it's in Cancer, it's time to find our security and our protection. Think about that and take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones during this insanely confusing time. Use your mind. Dot your I's, cross your T's. Before you leave the house, check and see if you got your wallet, your phone, your everything that would drive you crazy if you left it. Okay? So double check yourself during this time, and it won't be a bad time for you. That's all I have to say. So with that, I'll close. If you would like more information on me, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. Thank you.